Days of Our Lives blunder Peter Blake revealed as DiMera Kidnapper, abductions Sarah in jaw, dropping twist. Days of Our Lives spoilers Wednesday, December 3rd. Rachel keeps Sophia's secret. Marlena cries to Leo, Holly's bad news. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. After watching these videos, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Days of Our Lives reveals Peter Blake has been recast with Dan Gautier, and he's back in Salem soon. Our trusted leaker told us that he's the one who has abducted the DiMeras, shoved them in the vault, and he's got further mischief planned soon. We've got evidence in the new long promo that Days released that Peter Blake is surely back, and we know who the actor is. Our leaker had actually told us indeed before the promo came out that it's Peter who's doing the hijacking, and there's some really bad stuff that he's going to be doing. We've got lots to unload. Who's Peter Blake on Days of Our Lives? A DiMera family refresher. In case you do and flashback Peter, that's Kristen DiMera's no-good family. He's the son of that nutter, Rachel Blake, who of course is Kristen's wicked mama, who was conniving with her namesake granddaughter, Rachel Black, and helped her kidnap Ava Vitali last time. Also, if you flash back, Rachel was going to swear against EJ DiMera, and so he faded her for a while, which absolutely maddened Kristen. The DiMera crypt crisis on Days of Our Lives, who's been abducted? With that in mind, suckers have been wondering who's been snatching the DiMeras up one by one. First, Tony DiMera was commandeered in Greece while on a voyage with his woman, Anna DiMera. Next to get taken was Kristen DiMera, who woke up overeater, tied and blindfolded, but out of captivity against her will. So, she's a little affrighted that she's been broken out of jail because she thinks that's going to increase her captivity judgment. This week, Chad DiMera was taken, and he was ditched in the vault with his siblings. Next to join the kidnapped crew in the vault is their whore son, Theo Carver. So he's going to run into a bit of trouble, and it looks like he gets snared this week as well, perhaps coming week. The malefactor? Well, some people suppose it's EJ, because he's been over to no good recently. Plus, he's not been seen ditched in with the vault crew. But no, it is Aunt EJ doing the catch and heists of his siblings. According to our safe leaker, they told us the kidnapper is none other than Peter Blake, who's locking them all up. They told us this about a week ago, but because of Thanksgiving, I didn't have time to cover it. Also, the promo came out and you can see just a little bit of Peter. Peter Blake's shocking return and implicit motives on Days. In case you do want flashback, Peter is also a DiMera. Like Kristen, her family Peter was espoused by Stefano DiMera. Peter was always a sketchy dude and veritably important followed in his espoused Peter, Stefano's, steps. Back in the day, Peter was a medicine runner, a kidnapper, an absolute killer, and he's not been seen since 1998. So it's been a hot nanosecond. Why would Kristen's family turn up out of the blue and start abducting his siblings and his whore son? Well, perhaps Peter is trying to frame EJ so he can take over the family conglomerate. Perhaps he's the bone who's going to be the new Stefano. Or perhaps Peter is angry at what EJ put his mama, Rachel, through and is framing him. The one thing we do know is that when this all comes out, Peter winds up at University Hospital. He's in a bed and is screaming at Kristen as she apologizes to her big family, saying how sorry she is. Hopefully, his jungle madness hasn't come back. I don't know if you were watching back, also if you flash back that he'd gotten stunk by a mosquito. And he'd jungle madness which would lead him into these fits of rage. He was ultimately cured of it, but when you're contriving conditions you can construct long-term internal damage or recurrences. We're not going to have to stay too long to find out. Recast Dan Gautier makes his Salem debut as the new Peter Blake just before Christmas on December 19th. A blast from the history Peter Blake's wicked history in Salem. Of course, this is a huge surprise comeback. Longtime Days suckers may recall that it was Jason Brooks in the part starting in the mid-90s. Peter firstly came to Salem in 1993 with a charge to keep his family Kristen down from John Black. Back also, Kristen and John were in a love before she went all DiMera on him. When Peter and Stefano tried and failed to kill John, we saw Peter trying to convert Kristen to marry Tony DiMera. They were siblings by relinquishment, but weren't related by blood. Supposedly, This was one of Stefano's dying wishes. So Kristen married her consanguineous family Tony for a little while. Stefano had allowed that if Kristen married Tony, also she'd come further of a Dimera. But it was all just veritably harsh. Back also, Peter was dating Jennifer Horton and he'd this big thing for her obsession. But because Peter was deep into medicine trafficking, he was upset that Jennifer was going to find this out and break up with him. So he ended up drugging and gaslighting her mama, Laura Horton, because she was the bone he was bothered was going to find him out and tell Jennifer. Peter was obsessed with Jennifer. They did wind up wedded, but Peter was still involved in the Dimera medicine trade. Days of Our Lives, will Sarah Horton be the coming victim? A 2-decade grudge. Jack Devereaux began looking into Peter's shady dealings. Back also, teenage Sarah Horton had helped Jack look into Peter. Sarah had been fascinated by the woman in white legend, aka Rachel. Peter crossed paths with Sarah when he set up out she had a crush on Jack and was helping him probe him. At one point, Sarah dressed up like the woman in white to get near to Jack. It was all really weird. Peter revealed what he was over to, and also latterly Peter was arrested. He left Days of Our Lives in 1998. I mentioned the Sarah stuff because our leaker told us that she's also going to be abducted. What they told us at the time was that Sarah was going to wind up abducted with Kristen. And now we know that there are others there. So we'll see if that part of the leak manifests. And also veritably lately they told us that Peter is the hijacking malefactor. So perhaps he's holding some crazy 2-decade-long grudge against Sarah. We'll see if that part of the leak comes true. Our leaker, like I said, had told us months ago that Sarah would also be abducted. So we'll have to stay and see if that manifests. Tony, Theo, Chad, and Kristen may get a special Dimera guest in the vault. The new Stefano? Peter Blake's mysterious exposure and future in Salem. The big question, of course, is why Peter is taking his consanguineous and natural stock hostage. We've had many mentions of Peter over the times. It's generally been during a Dimera board vote when Kristen was fighting to be CEO, when there was the stuff with Gabby Hernandez trying to take over and all these effects. Peter would generally call into Bounce to support her, but we no way saw him. But now they've remade the part with Dan Gautier, and we're getting a real Peter story. Last time he was in Salem, he and his consanguineous Peter Stefano were veritably near, veritably much likewise. Peter was in captivity, but Stefano got him upgraded to a white-collar, easier captivity to do his time, and also he was paroled and released. Abe Carver said many times back that Peter had fallen off the radar, and nothing knew where he was since he got out. So, except for those occasional board vote phone calls, it's been radio silence. It's presumptive that Peter might be back to be the new Stefano that's been suggested at for so numerous months, because Peter was surely as cowardly as dear old Peter. We'll find out soon since he pops up in Salem the week before Christmas. Days of Our Lives spoilers Wednesday, December 3rd. Rachel keeps Sophia's secret. Marlena cries to Leo, Holly's bad news. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Wednesday, December 3rd. Reveal that Rachel Black will keep Sophia Choi's secret while Marlena Evans cries to Leo Stark. Holly Jonas will also bandy some bad news with Ariana Ari Horton, so then's what Days observers can anticipate. First, on Wednesday's Days of Our Lives occasion, Leo will pay Marlena a visit in the sanitarium. That should give Leo a chance to partake some engagement updates and ask Marlena to be his marriage officiant once she's recovered. Still, it won't take Leo long to pick up on how worried Marlena is. Leo will realize this is about further than Marlena's Lyme complaint evidence, since she's substantially upset about what's ahead for Rachel. Although Marlena won't go into too numerous details, she may confess that Rachel's haggling with some internal health struggles and was just admitted to Bayview. Marlena will also allude about not handling the situation rightly and disturbing Brady Black in the process. Indeed, if Brady can find it in his heart to forgive her, Marlena isn't sure she can forgive herself for failing Rachel. As Marlena frets over Rachel's current circumstances and the fact that Brady doesn't want her involved in his son's care, Leo will offer guidance and support. Days spoilers say Tate Black will do the same for Brady as he makes an oath to his pater. Maybe Tate will promise that they'll get through this as a family and assure Brady that he's going to visit Rachel constantly. After Holly hears all the rearmost Rachel details, she'll entrust in Ari. Holly will worry about how Tate's holding up and may smell that Ari knows commodity differently to be concerned about. Still, that could leave Holly indeed more fearful if Ari confesses that Tate is dangerously close to collapsing out of Salem U. At Bayview, Day's spoilers say Sophia will continue her discussion with Rachel and snappily befriend her. Of course, Sophia will move Rachel to keep quiet about the fact that she can still talk and move around typically. Everyone additional thinks Sophia's stuck in a weird reverie after a psychotic break, but Rachel will find out the verity and agree to zip her lips. Other Days of Our Lives spoilers say Kate Roberts-Brady and Maggie Kyriakis have an important business discussion coming up. Maggie and Kate will have a strategy session involving the future of Titan, so stay tuned to see if they can get on the same runner. Thanks for watching these videos. Please hit the subscribe button for more updated news.